How to play Roaring Moon EX with Baby Roaring Moon and the Dunsparce, also known as Moon Moon. Timestamp will be down below if you want to skip to a certain section. Let's start off with the deck list. 4 Roaring Moons, 3 Roaring Moon EX, 3 Dunsparce, 3 the Dunsparce, 1 Radiant Greninja, 4 Professor Sada Vitality, 4 Explorer Guidance, 1 Boss Order and 1 Penny, 4 Nest Ball, 2 Ultra Balls, 4 Dark Patches, 4 Earthen Vessel, 4 Ancient Booster Energy Capsule, 3 Trekking Shoes, 1 Super Rod, 1 Counter Catcher and 1 Prime Catcher, 2 Artisan and 1 Temple of Sinnoh, and 9 Dark Energy. Now let's go over what each card does. Roaring Moon EX is there to attack large HP Pokemon. His first attack, Frenzy Gouging, lets you knock out any Pokemon as long as he takes 200 damage to himself. His second attack, Calamity Storm, lets you do 220 damage if you discard a Stadium in play. That knocks out a lot of Pokemon in the current meta, such as Arceus V, Chien-Pao EX, Rotom V, Lumineon V, and many more. On to the Baby Roaring Moon. We mainly use him for his first attack, which does 70 damage plus 10 damage for each ancient card in your discard pile. And you're running a total of 23 ancient cards in this deck. That puts him with the maximum damage of 300. Next, let's talk about the Dunsparce and Radiant Greninja. These two Pokemon are basically your draw engine. The Dunsparce is the evolution of Dunsparce. It lets you draw 3 cards and then it shuffles back into the deck. And Radiant Greninja lets you draw 2 cards as long as you discard 1 card from your hand. Radiant Greninja is really good to get your energy in your discard pile. That way you can use cards like Dark Patch and Professor Sada, which we'll get more into soon. Let's talk about the supporter now. As I mentioned, we're using Professor Sada, which will let you accelerate 1 energy to 2 of your ancient Pokemon from your discard pile. And you get to draw 3 more cards. And this is why we have Radiant Greninja, to put our energies into the discard pile so we can activate this card. Next we have Explorer Guidance. This card lets you draw 6, and you choose 2, and you discard the rest. This card is not only good for the draw power, but it's also a good way to put your ancient cards into your discard pile faster, so that your Baby Moon can do more damage. We are running 1 Boss Order, which will let you switch one of your opponent's Pokemon to the active. It's always nice to have a Boss Order in your deck. Next we have Penny. This card's in here for many reasons. The first reason is for Snorlax Stall. If they trap your Radiant Greninja to the active, you can use Penny to bring it back up. Another good reason is sometimes you don't want to start Roaring Moon EX in the active, so Penny is a good way to get rid of it. And lastly, another good reason is, if you have damage on your Roaring Moon EX, or even the Baby Roaring Moon, you can bring it back up, which can slow down your opponent. Let's talk about the items. Nest Ball and Ultra Ball is there to help search for your Pokemon. Earthen Vessel is for you to search for your energy, and since you need to discard 1 card to use it, it's also another good way to put more ancient card in your discard pile. Next we have Dark Patch. It lets you attach a dark energy from your discard pile to one of your dark Pokemon. This and Professor Sada is a really good card to accelerate energy into your Baby Roaring Moon, so you can attack first, going second. Next we have the Ancient Booster Energy Capsule. This card gives your ancient Pokemon 60 more HP. That puts the Baby Moon at 200 HP, which is a lot for a basic Pokemon. It also makes your Roaring Moon EX 290 HP. So if you use the attack Frenzy Gouging, it still has 90 HP left over instead of 30. Prime Catcher and Counter Catcher is similar to Boss Order. It's there for you to gust one of your opponent's bench Pokemon to the active. And lastly, we're running 1 Super Rod. This card helps you bring back resources from your discard pile back into the deck. Trekking Shoe is there to let you draw more cards, as well as put more ancient cards in your discard pile, or even the energy you need. For the Stadium, we're running Artisan. This card is there to help you get out the Baby Roaring Moon and the Dunsparce. We are also running Temple of Sinnoh. Mist Energy basically stops a Roaring Moon EX attack, so with the help of Temple of Sinnoh, it cancels out the Mist Energy, which let us use Frenzy Gouge whenever we want. Let's talk about the setup. Ideally, you want to start with Dunsparce in the active, because it has a free retreat cost. And on your bench, you would want 1 Radiant Greninja, another Dunsparce, and 2 Baby Roaring Moons. And for this deck, I prefer to go first, just so I can set up and attach 1 energy to my Roaring Moon. But going second is also not bad, because if you have the right cards, you can actually attack with Baby Roaring Moon. Let's talk a little bit about the matchups. We're mainly going to focus on the top 5 decks. First, let's talk about Charizard. You want to attack their 1 prizer with the Baby Roaring Moon, until they set up the Charizard EX. That's when you bring out the Roaring Moon EX and start attacking with Frenzy Gouge. Some Charizard lists run Mist Energy, so just make sure you have Temple of Sinnoh whenever you use Frenzy Gouge. I would say our Charizard matchup is 50-50. Next, we have Chien-Pao. Early game, you want to try to knock out the Frigibacks with the Baby Roaring Moon. And if they attack with the Chien-Pao EX, you can use Roaring Moon's EX second attack, Calamity Storm, as long as you have a Stadium in play. You do exactly 220 damage. Against Chien-Pao, since we don't have Mana Fee, try not to leave 2 Dunsparce in your bench. That's because they will use their Radiant Greninja to try to knock it out. Either evolve it and use its ability to bring it back into the deck, or you can evolve it and save it for whenever you need it. I think if you're fully set up, majority of the time you have the more favorable matchup. Let's talk about going against Giratina. I find it that we have a really easy matchup against Giratina, as long as we don't start with the Roaring Moon EX in the active. And as long as we get our first attack off, we will always be ahead in the price raise. And if they decide to attack with Giratina or Iron Leaves, that's when you start using the Roaring Moon EX. For future hands, I think we also have the more favorable matchup just because their Iron Crown EX is weak against Dark. If you have 4 ancient cards in your discard pile, your Baby Roaring Moon can one-shot their Iron Crown. Lastly, let's talk about Lugia. I think Lugia is a very hard matchup for us, since they run a total of 4 Mist Energy. For me, there's 2 ways to beat this deck. One is you hope they pray that they can't set up their Archeops fast enough. The other way is you have to draw the nuts, and somehow set up your Roaring Moon EX first turn to Calamity Storm their Lugia V. Let me know in the comments if you have any questions about the matchups. I'll try to answer them as much as I can. Let's check out a gameplay on Pokemon TCG Live.
Alright guys, we have a game against Charizard. And I'm just going to go over what I'm doing and why I'm doing all this. We won the coin flip, so we always want to go first for this deck. And yeah, I don't know it's Charizard, but this is a pre-recording, so that's how I know it's Charizard. It's not really the best start with Radiant Greninja, and this is where I check and realize we are playing against Charizard, which is kind of a hard matchup. I would say it's 50-50. It really depends if they run Mist Energy or not. We got to draw 3 cards here, which is really good. So we're going first. Most likely on an Artisan. Yep. For Artisan, I usually want to get a Dunsparce, because one, it has free retreat, and then if you have nothing else, you can draw with it next turn, because I do have the Dunsparce in my hand. And right here, I Radiant Greninja by using 1 energy to discard. And I got the Roaring Moon down, so that at least I can attach 1 dark energy to it. Because we're going first, so we can't attack. And put the capsule, so it's 200. And at least for Charizard, they usually don't go, they can't attack first turn. So they're gonna set up as much as they can here. And it's kind of nice that in our hand we have Temple of Sinnoh and Prime Catcher. So they summon their Bidoof, probably try to get out a Pidgeot. Yep, they're gonna grab probably Buddy Poffin and a Forest Seal Stone. So next turn, all we need is either a Sada or another energy, so we can retreat the remaining Greninja and start attacking. They got 2 Charmanders down, which is good for them because we're most likely gonna knock out the Charmander next turn. What else will they do? Most likely just use Rotom V to Instacharge. Are they gonna use the V-Star ability? There's the attachment. And they're just going to draw 3 with Instacharge from Rotom V. We got another energy, which is really good. And since Artisan's down, I always try to get another Dunsparce out, especially if I want to use the current one to evolve and draw, which I believe that's what I'm going to do. I think I'm searching for a Sada here. Like, I'm thinking what I should do. We hit the Sada, which is great. This way we have the energy. Ooh. So what I'm doing here is actually I'm going to try to target the Rotom V, because I do have all the energies needed, including the Dark Patch in our hand to set up Rotom Moon EX. And then with the Prime Catcher, of course, we've just bossed it up. We hit another Dark Patch. We're drawing the nuts this game for sure. There's the 1. And I believe I'm just going to attach, because I want to save the Dark Patch for later on when he summons his Charizard EX. Got rid of those to get another Dunsparce. It's always nice to have multiple, just in case they Iono you. And there's the Prime Catcher, bring up the Rotom V. We're going to hit it with the second attack, Calamity Storm, to get rid of the Stadium by doing 220. Which is great. In a lot of matchups, they always have like a V Pokemon that is around 220 max. We get 2 prizes, which is pretty good. It's always nice to have energies in your hand, especially with Radiant Greninja. You can draw more, put more energy in your discard pile, use Sada, Dark Patches. Right here, I'm guessing they're going to get like a rare candy and another tool card. Oh, they got Ultra Ball, so which means they already have rare candy in hand. Probably Ultra Ball for Pidgeot EX. Or Charizard. Let's see what they get. They got Pidgeot EX, which means they either have Charizard in hand already, and they can just use the ability Quick Search to get whatever else they need. Yep, they're most likely to knock out my Roaring Moon EX, and then next turn, we actually have all the cards in our hand to summon another Roaring Moon EX. If I think he Arvin this turn, right? Yeah, so he's not even able to boss me up at all. He knocks it out. That's okay. We're ahead of the price right now. We took 2, he took 2. Then we just gotta keep taking 2, and it's just back and forth. 2, 2, 2. Right here, I know for sure I can summon the EX. I'm just using Trekking Shoe to get more cards. Double Dark Patch is great as well. And since I know I need more energy, oh, Artisan first, guys. Always Artisan first to get a Dunsparce. And then Radiant Greninja. You thin out your deck, you draw more, you get cards you need. For example, the Dunsparce is very nice to have. Then I think I do attach just in case he knocks this one out and I have no other attacker. We are actually drawing the nuts here. Alright, Earthen Vessel. I usually get rid of cards I don't need. We kind of want Sada moving forward to set up Roaring Moon EX again if he does knock it out. So Explorer Guidance is not that needed. I don't know if I draw here or not, but I do want a Capsule so that way he can't attack with like just a Charmander for 30 damage using Ember. Oh, I'm just gonna Frenzy Gouge, and I'm just gonna hope he does not attack me with a basic Charmander. Because Charizard, whenever I Frenzy Gouge, if I don't have the Capsule to equal out the prize, he would put up a Charmander attack with 30 damage. That way I have to find like a boss or something to attack another 2-prizer. So I believe he just summons another Charizard here probably. Yeah, he gets a Charmander. I'm not sure why he didn't put up the Pidgeot EX in the active. It has a free retreat. He does Iono me. This is also probably why I did not draw with the Dunsparce. I just left it there in case I do get Iono, and then I can draw more. And this is perfect. We got another Dunsparce, so we can draw at least 6 cards. Next turn, of course. He summons his Charizard. He's gonna knock out my Roaring Moon. What else would he do? He just knocks it out. And then here we already have Sada, so we're gonna need to get another a Dark Patch, Energy, and a Nest Ball or the Roaring Moon EX, which we have a lot of ways to get the cards out. Trekking Shoe is perfect. I'm not sure I'm gonna use it first, which I think I do. We get Earthen Vessel. I did not take the Earthen Vessel. We got the Nest Ball though, which means we can get Roaring Moon EX. I think I'm gonna gamble here by using it to get it out, then on my deck. That way when I draw, I'll guarantee I'll get more cards that I need. Because we're looking for at least a Dark Patch. A Dark Patch, and we hit the Dark Patch. And then we need either another energy in our deck, which I don't believe we have anymore. That's why I didn't get the Earthen Vessel. We got the Earthen Vessel and 2 double Dark Patches. And right here, I know for sure I won. Double Dark Patch to accelerate my Roaring Moon EX. I draw to get rid of the active. And even here, we have more Dunsparce to even draw. So the Dunsparce engine, I love it. I totally recommend this if you guys want a fun deck to play. And overall, I think it's a decent deck. We get our 2 prize, and that is GG.
Let me know in the comments what deck you want to see next. And in the meantime, you guys can check out my other videos right over here and subscribe if you're not already. Thank you.